So yeah, so this particular girl, or woman, we're at the gym. She invited me to go to the gym with her this day, and that's when I was actually a lot more smaller. I'm actually overweight right now, but I was a little bit more slim back then. And we're just sitting there as like, girls hanging out, and she had another friend that she invited with her who she was friends with, but I didn't know the girl. She was my cousin, so, and she's looking at me. And I think we were like talking about something completely different. Me and the girl that she brought, and just hanging out as girls. And she just interrupts like, Brandy, you don't have that much back fat. She just randomly like, oh, you don't have a lot of back. She's like looking at like my roll, like I'm just like. I'm used to her doing this, so I knew she was that kind of person. It's just disappointing when like you think that by you being a positive influence or you just being a positive person that it'll change them somehow. So I'm like, yeah. So I think I just said something like play it off, or just like, how you just kind of like, oh yeah, like being silly or something about it. But she just kept going like and then she started comparing our back fats. I know y'all are gonna laugh at me saying that because of the way that I said it. She literally started comparing our rolls. She did. This is a grown woman, by the way. I was about 20. I was in my early 20s. She's like 6, 7 years older than me. She's up there. So that just made it even more unnatural that this is your younger cousin. Like, you shouldn't be looking at her, comparing your body to her. Like, this is your little cousin. Like, it was very uncomfortable. There was another time with her. She's just a spiteful, malicious person in general, though. But there was another time with her where like we went out to eat at a restaurant, and I think there was a mutual friend between me and her, who actually is somebody I brought on my channel before. I'm not gonna say who she was, but this girl was also jealous of me. I didn't know that. When I was in fellowship with her, if I put the link in the description box, y'all will probably discern it all over her face. Because at the time I actually put that video up, I had believers commenting like, sis, you need to be careful with that girl. Like, y'all could see it. I couldn't even see it. Like, that's how pure my heart was. Like, I didn't even see any of that on that sister. Like, I was just happy I had somebody in Beaumont to fellowship with. But even people watching my channel could see her and her facial. So I guess y'all discerned the spirit on her before I did. And like, she actually did end up attacking me afterwards, and in a very malicious way. And this particular person was friends with this cousin, and we're talking about, I guess, some things that she said about me as far as me being demon possessed, and some things that she experienced with me just basically made me sound really, really bad to my cousin. And I think I was sharing my side of what happened and how we had engaged in spiritual warfare before those things transpired. And I think that was the way of the enemy hitting us back and attacking. And obviously he wanted to attack me with her being more spiritually weak. She was a babe at the time. And the cousin, she's sitting across from me in Cheddar's, and she's just, and then she had a little straw in her drink. She's just, sipping her straw like, like something she would see on like, Basketball Wives or something. Like, the conversation's about you and you're giving your part, and they're just like, like they have their own opinion, like against you. They're not saying it at the table. And that's something that made me personally uncomfortable, because I'm like, well, number one, as a cousin, why are you even, it's just, you see this whole family, that's why I don't do the family thing. Like, I already don't believe in that, but I'm just saying, to add even a greater sin, like, this is your family. Like, you would think that you would take the side of the relative over what this girl was saying about her. And I was actually raised up with this cousin. Like, I mean, as a little girl growing up in her mom's house, like, playing, like, that's why I say, like, you can't just underestimate people. It doesn't matter who the person is. I've had the Lauderville aunts that are jealous of me. Like, it really goes, it's that level of insanity. It doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter who they are. You could have been raised up with these people. One of the main individuals that he's exposed to me is due to jealousy. That is actually going to play a very dark role in my life, prophetically speaking, when I start my ministry. I grew up with this girl, whole life, close, like sisters. That's why the Lord had to give me so many dreams about her that I still have documented to get it into my mind. Like, because He knows. He would show me in the dream when she was attacking me and driving me to the sex trafficking ring in the dream. Like, I'm still in the car responding to her like a cousin, because that's how I see her. The Lord had to put a song at the end of the dream. She's not your family. She does not see you as family. Yes, the Most High had to go that far. So it does not always benefit you to be this sweet, loving, genuine, relative, like when God is exposing your enemies to you. Just because you're blood related to somebody does not make them your family, and that doesn't mean that they see you that way either. If you believe that, you need to snap out of that real quick. Now, I believe that there's some healthy family units around the world to where everybody is a big family, and they deep, like, they gonna support their relatives, they gonna support their brother, their sister, their uncle, their auntie. Like, I mean, it's real like that. I wish I had that. Like, I mean, I would love to experience something like that. I know I never will, because of what the Father has revealed to be about both sides of my family and the kind of people that they are. But I believe it's out there, but that's not a truth that you should just walk in expecting that to be the case with everybody, because that's not true. You have people with wicked hearts, and the closer they are to you, I feel the more dangerous, because they have more of a capability of deceiving you when they really want to kill you or sleep with your man. There's stories out there with sisters sleeping with other sisters' man because she was jealous of her the whole time and the sister didn't know. Stuff like that, get you killed. Okay, don't try me. Don't do it. The Most High gonna do it, or somebody else will. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just saying, you mess with the wrong people, that stuff will get you killed. You don't do no mess like that. But it's out there. Trash stuff like that. Your own sister sleeping with your man because she was jealous of you. But the whole time she up under you, y'all shopping together, you telling her all your secrets, and you think you can trust her because it's your, A1, your bestie, and all the other terms we give these people, like your best enemy. She's your bestie, all right. The best enemy you ever had. A snake. Sneak right up under you. You don't even notice it on you. That's why you need the Holy Spirit to expose these people to you, man. You can't afford to be out here in these streets. The way this world is just so dark. Satan can use anybody, and you just don't know who's really for you until the Father shows you through a dream, or He speaks to you through a word of knowledge, or He tells you, be careful with that one. Sometimes he'll just expose the person to you through their own words. He does that. They're completely blinded to it, but they're just like, yeah, but I used to hate you back then. It's like, they're literally telling on themselves, and it's like, you're just sitting like, you just said a mouthful just now, but so yeah, we're sitting at the table and that happened. But and I think a few minutes later we were talking about something else, and I had my braids in at that time, some blonde braids, and some makeup on. This is 2015, so I was obviously in disobedience. She's like, Brandy, you were so pretty, And I didn't see anything weird. Like, okay, well, that's my cousin. Like, I thought it was a compliment. Like, it made me feel good. It was like, it was nice and everything. But because of what I know about her, she does this comparison thing all the time. I'm like, it just kind of like solidified, I don't really want anything to do with her like that. I see the kind of person that she is. She's not somebody that you can have a healthy relationships alone should be founded on love, period. And in order for you to have a relationship founded on love, you have to have a healthy perception about yourself and the person that you're entering into this relationship or friendship with. Otherwise, you can't obey scripture, love your neighbor as you love yourself. There is no relationship there. I think a lot of people are getting attacked and they're suffering from these very same entities that are covert enemies that you don't know you have, because you think you're in a relationship with them when you're not. That's not a relationship. That's dysfunction. That's a situationship. That's not a relationship. It never was. You need to get out of that. So, yes, comparison. The first one I said about the eyes, that stood out to me. Or when they're saying, yes, okay, so this is another one. I've had a relative us hanging out, being girls or something, and she would be in the mirror looking at her flaws and how she felt about herself in like a negative light. And as she was doing that about herself, she would then compare herself to me. And then she would say something like, oh, this and this is wrong with me, or this and this is wrong with my stomach, or this and this is wrong with my hair. But at least you got a stomach, to kind of fill out your figure, or at least you have this. I'm just like, what do I have to do with you declaring your insecurities in this mirror? Like, why do I have to be pulled into this? So it's like, they'll do stuff like that. So even if it's not an issue with you personally, because they feel negatively about themselves and it's an inner turmoil thing, it still is showing you where you fit in their mind. So this is going to dictate how they treat you as a person. Like I said, your relationship to them, not with them, because you don't really have a relationship with them. That's not a relationship. That's a comparisonship. That's a whole bunch of other confusion that's going on that they need cleansed out. But whether it was you or somebody else, you are an object of comparison to them because of how they feel about themselves. This is always going to be the case with this person as it pertains to you and your communication with them. You need to avoid them at all costs. Literally. So I'm trying to think of some other comparison. Okay, well, the cousin I was just talking about, the one that I grew up with, I would be around her often, so I've actually got a chance to experience a lot of this personally from her. She actually told me at one point that she was jealous. We were in the mirror one day, we were in the restroom, and I think we were both, I was wearing makeup at that time, so we were both, like whatever. And she was like, I forgot what it was. I don't know if it was about my hair. It was something about, I forgot what she said specifically. It could have been my hair. She was like, she just commented on it again. She's like, I'm jealous. She just said it like that, like, oh, I'm jealous, And of course, like, when your friend says something like that, you try to play it off like, oh, like, nah, she just blatantly told you, like, she's jealous. She meant what she said. So with her, there would just be, she would do the same thing. She's actually very slender. Her body type is very slender. And I just have an issue with women who do that. Like, honey, there's only we can change our bodies through toning and exercise and sculpting and doing certain, types of, methods of exercise, but you just need to accept the body that the Most High gave you. All of this stuff with you comparing yourself to other thick women or you want to be, it's not going to happen. Like, I mean, I'd rather you be in the position of appreciating women who look like that than being jealous, like, oh, I wish I looked like that. There are some women I feel like are body goals for me. I have a little Pinterest album of what I would like to look like or the kind of shape that I would like to have, but I still know that realistically, even when I get to doing those types of exercises, my body may not look exactly like hers because we don't have the same body type. I could get it to look similar or identical, or she could be an emblem of what I would like to look like, but I'm not comparing myself to this actual woman, like to the point where I'm angry, like, oh, like, like, I wish I could look like that. Like, no, it's not like that. You're a picture of where I want to be at some point. Trying to get there may not look exactly like that. So you just need to accept, if the Lord made you slender, if he made you to be skinny, there's a lot of overweight, thick females who wish that they had a model type body. That's typically the body that modeling agencies want. A skinny, slim type chick. Unfortunately, because I personally feel like that doesn't always look good, but I don't think that skinny women look bad. That's just your body type. That's how the Most High made you. You have privileges that other women don't have. You can get pregnant and you can snap back. I have a cousin. This woman has had 4 or 5 kids and she's a slim type female. She is still tiny to this day. Like, when she gets pregnant, it's just stomach and that's it. She has like 4 or 5 kids and she still looks beautiful. Now, when you come to, more thickly, more, full figure women like myself, we can't do that. I ain't got no kids and I'm already heavy. I've had stretch marks since I was 11 years old. No pregnancy, it's just that's my skin type. You have women out there who don't have that skin type. They don't get stretch marks that easily. That's my skin type. I get stretch marks. I think it could have been due to weight gain as a child, or I think sometimes I would scratch a lot. I would scratch like my, the sides of my stomach or something. But I was just used to it. I was like, well, this is my body. Like, I've had stretch marks since I was like, I mean, they're not really visible like they used to be. when I was younger. They're a little bit more transparent now, but they're still there. I've had them since I was 11. Like, I'm 26 now. So it's just like, I can't envy somebody's body who doesn't have stretch marks. I think she's incredibly blessed by the Most High, whether she's saved or unsaved. She has a body, honey. She can have kids and still have this smooth, creamy, buttery skin and still wear her two-piece and her bikini. I can't do that, okay? So it's just like, but I'm not envious of her. I'm not jealous of her. I stand in a position to where I can admire another woman's body or admire another woman's beauty, but I understand that that's just not what the Lord gave me. We're all beautiful in our own way. You just have to learn how to respect your beauty instead of comparing your beauty to somebody else's beauty. You can stare at this woman all day and envy her and hate her for the way she looks for the rest of your life, and you still will never look like that. Unless you get some heavy cosmetic surgery done, which if you actually end up doing that, you are officially mentally ill. That's becoming such a huge thing. Like, Queen Naija just recently got a I think they call it a BBL. I'm like, what the heck is I said, what is a BBL? So Queen Naija just recently did it. This vegan girl that I follow on YouTube, she recently did it. But she had like kids and stuff. I think she just wanted to do it. I'm like, I think that's why she did it. But I'm just saying, like, Delicious from Flavor of Love, y'all probably know who Delicious is. She looked completely different on Flavor of Love in like 2009. This woman she's like a completely different person now. You can't even recognize her. She's changed her attitude. She's more preppy. Got her nose, what they call it, nasal rhinoplasty, whatever they call it. Like, she just looks like an entirely different woman. And it's like, just because you can go into a surgeon's room and sculpt your body to look like something you want to look, doesn't mean that you should do that. Like, this is insecurity manifested. I mean, everybody has insecurities within them, but when you actually go as far as carrying something like that out, you've changed your whole appearance. I just want the Lord to bless me with some type of power, like governmental wise, to where I can start like making laws and restricting certain things, because I would have you mentally examined. I really would. Somebody who comes to me and tells me that they want, like, unless you got busted up in the nose and your nose is broke and you want your nose like and that could be argued, as far as whether Father would approve or disapprove of like cosmetic surgery. I think it really depends on the case. I think primarily he's opposed to it because it's unnatural, but I think there are some cases where it may be necessary. Now, if it's not necessary and you're just doing this solely for cosmetic reasons or just to be vain, I personally would have a law approved of anybody that comes to a surgeon to request a whole full body just recomposition, whether it's their face or something else. I would have you mentally examined. I would literally put you in a counseling group of some sort or some organization where we're going to get the root to all of your insecurities, because that is ridiculous. People have literally transformed themselves. They don't even look like the same person. Literally. I personally can become, like, I would have to truly hate myself to be comfortable with doing something like that and looking at my childhood photos, like my nose, for example. There's a lot of women with my nose, they would go into the industry and change this. I don't think my nose is big or small. It's Brandy's nose. Like, it's my nose. I would just feel uncomfortable if, like, I did something like that, but I'm looking at my childhood photos and all the old photos I took of myself, like, this year and 2017. And you were more natural. You were Brandy. Now you're just like, you look a little bit more attractive, but it's not your nose. It's just weird. Like, I would just feel like I'm somebody else living, or I'm me living in somebody else's body. Like, this is not how the Most High made you. So people were really, like, they go far. And it's because of comparison. How would you know to get a nose job? How would you know to sculpt your face? Kylie Jenner can't stand the girl. Can't stand her at all. She's... Her whole family has done it. Kim has done it. But Kylie is one person that... Child, all of you is fake. There's nothing... I mean, I feel bad for her because, like, she is deeply insecure. And I understand like being in the spotlight and being next to, Kim, her big sister, Kim Kardashian, who's, known to be the most beautiful in the family, which I personally I don't feel like she is. I think Kim is very basic in my opinion. I think she looked better before she started getting the work done. But Kylie has completely transitioned from being this very basic, average looking female as a Caucasian woman to now she has these full figured lips. She's gotten a nose job. Her face has completely been sculpted. Her eyes, something happened with her eyes too, because her eyes used to be like very just simple, just basic looking. Now they're more like round and meant to look like some other type of, cultural looking woman. And she has the full figured hips, to mimic a black woman's body composition. And it's just like everything about her is fake. Everything about you is fake. And it just makes me like, I question, like, what do y'all really feel, or what do you really see when you look in the mirror and you look at yourself and you know that this is not the real you? Because you can change everything about your outward appearance, but the real you and the soulish part of you, the seat of your emotions is still who you are on the inside. I would feel like plastic. When I look into the mirror, I probably would be like, very prideful, very vain, confident in my appearance because I don't have any self-esteem within myself. But when I go lay down in my bed at night, I'm still Brandy, and this is not my body. It's kind of like, it's like an alternative form of demon possession to me. Like, you're still a soul. You're a soul in a completely different body. Like, this is really abnormal what people are doing today. It's just not normal. So, but my point was, you wouldn't even know to get this, BBL. You would have to have a picture to even compare to tell the surgeon of what you want to look like. You already had somebody in mind, oh, I want to look like a Beyonce, or give me the Kim Kardashian hips, or you have to have a comparison. So like, how would you know to say I want to look like this unless you were already doing comparison? That's where the mess starts. Stop comparing yourself to other women. You need to learn how to accept you for who you are. You're not a role model by any means. The only thing that you are communicating in the message that you're giving to women is I don't accept myself and I don't love myself, and I can't really tell you how to do it either. Hate yourself. If it's something that you don't like about yourself, fix it. But when you fix it, it's always going to be in comparison to somebody that you've already seen that you want to look like. Because if you didn't have all that around, it wouldn't even like come in it wouldn't even pose as a thought in your mind to like want to do something like that unless you've already seen somebody who looks like that. You would just be stuck with just living in your own suit, basically, and learning how to accept it and to come to terms with it. So this comparison thing, and this is even in the body of Christ, like, you got sisters that still compare flesh to flesh. As carnal as that sounds, you do have women of God in ministry. They're comparing themselves to other sisters and how they look. What at this point, we're so surrendered in the Lord. What does that have to do with anything, how we look? Father has stripped us butt naked to the point where the only thing we got on is a head covering. What are you comparing at this point? Eyebrows? Who got the most upper lip hair? Like, who lips is shinier with the Carmex? Come on now, man. This is ridiculous. Like, your heart is in the wrong place, man. Like, it's just, Jesus. Like, I don't want to go too much into, depth about that. There's so many reasons for why that's happening nationally as far as media and what they tell us beauty is, but just a whole bunch of bull. The most I would go is, or the most I would do is just sculpting, and that would be through exercising, and I wouldn't do any extra stuff because I have a nice figure as it is. I like my figure. I'm just overweight. I would fix it through clean eating, exercise, and sculpting to get a certain type of detail, And your body's going to do what the Father has allowed it to do as far as how far it'll go when it comes to sculpting. But it's not going to become this outlandish appearance of somebody else's body just because you're doing 300 squats every day. Like, be realistic. Like, accept your body, what your body is capable of doing. Love what the Most High gave you. There's a lot of stuff I don't like about my body at all. I hate it, but like I said, it's not to the point where I would envy or covet somebody else's breasts or somebody else's stomach. Like, I have a stomach. I got a pudge. It would take a lot of cardio to work off that stubborn fat down here. But, it's just, anyway. Comparison. I'm trying to think, is there any other situations where I've experienced comparison? I think that's enough. The next one I'll go into is I've experienced them always being ready to oppose you with something. And people who are jealous of you, y'all could be talking about something just completely normal. It doesn't matter what the subject is about. And I've experienced with somebody, we could be looking at something on social media and I could give my opinion, and it's like they're always ready to oppose your point of thought. Anything that you say is wrong. Like, we could be in the drive-through and we're trying to determine what slush we want to get or something at Sonic, and I say, oh, the green apple is really sour. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's a little sour. No, it's not. It's not that sour. I'm serious. This person, like, any little thing, and she does it quickly. It's not even something like she sits down and has time to process and then she says it. Like, no, she's always ready to oppose me with anything that I say over the most trivial things. That's something that you need to look for. And that's just another branch of their hearts being exposed to you. This person, as far as the seat of their affections and whatever is triggering them, it kind of seems like, because they've already kind of put you on this pedestal in their minds for this comparison to be made, as far as, dictating their worth and their self-esteem, any judgment or opinion that you have about something can't be valid. It has to be torn down. Like, it just has to be, anything you say, they have to, they got to oppose it. Or it has to be like a contradiction. It always has to, it has to be invalidating your point of thought, because it has to discredit you as a person. If somebody goes that far over something so trivial, I mean, like, the person that I'm speaking about in the situation, it is that trivial. It's very small things. And I felt it every time that they do it. It feels like a jab every time. And I said, okay, she's either just very opinionated and just very, it's possible that this person could just be, I don't know a word to use for that. Or they just value their opinion over something, over anybody else. There are people who are just high-minded like that, but this can also be used in the context of jealousy as well, because if somebody's jealous of you, they will do things like that too. Because on a subconscious level of how they already see you, and like I said, the comparison that's being made, there's always going to be a subconscious mandate, so to speak, to discredit you in any way that they can. So even if they're not doing it intentionally, when you say something that has any relevance to, like, the thought or the judgment of something that could be just about anything, they get triggered. Because it's like validating what they think or what they know about you even more so. So they have to say something opposite to what you just said. That's bondage. This person is in that's a deep, deep bondage of insecurity if you're going that far. I mean, arguing over something as simple as, like, skin complexion. Somebody's skin complexion. No, it's not. No, they're not that dark. No, they're not. No, they don't look like this person. And I mean, you could look at the photo, they look like the person, and they will still be like, no, it doesn't. No, they don't look like that. Just because you said it. That's the only issue. It's because you said it. I know it sounds pathetic watching this video. It is pathetic. They're pathetic people. It's rejection spirits all around. It's a deep rejection stronghold. So they're always ready to oppose any opinion, any judgment. Y'all could be shopping and y'all are looking at clothing, and you may think a piece of clothing or a material or a skirt is cute. She'll say it's not, just because you think it's cute. I know that sounds really petty to the point of you laughing. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. They mean this. This is an evil that is currently and genuinely at work in their heart when it comes to you. they're dangerous people to be around. It's going this far.